Imagine not being able to read the paper because your hands were shaking. Imagine not being able to read newsprint as your world faded to black. The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. Monthly report. With your host, Lee Martin, and co-host, Florence Myers McSwine.
Good morning. My name is Lee Martin, and I have a co-host here by the name of Florence Myers McSwine. We are here to provide you with our inaugural service here at WHMB 40 for the National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. And we have hot topics, and today we'll be covering hot topics as well as what the National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana provides for over 166,000 blind and print challenge citizens throughout the state of Indiana. This is a free service that goes completely around the country, around the globe. As one subscriber says, he receives his newspaper as a global publication that he can read free as a blind and or visually impaired citizen. We also, with the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Services, our state sponsor is the Indiana State Talking Book and Braille Library. So, Florence, would you want to share a little bit about what the National Federation of the Blind Newsline is?
Oh, I sure can. The National Federation of the Blind Newsline is a free service, as you mentioned. It's sponsored through the Talking Book and Braille Library, through the National Federation of the Blind. Services it includes are, it has, well, weather alerts. It has over 400 newspapers, over 60 magazines. It also has Target and Walmart circulars. It populates during the day so we can get breaking news. I love the service, and many people who read this service are excited, a matter of fact, ecstatic about it. You know, a lot of people have told me that it's like getting the news, world news, right at their doorsteps. So it's a great service.
Yes, and some of the devices that you can use for this particular service is your mobile devices. It also has an app for Apple phones. You can also use your digital talking book players from the Talking Book and Braille Library. What I like to use is the VictorStream Reader, which many of you in our community know about. So we're going to take a short pause, and we'll be right back with our guest today, Mr. Joy Higdon, and also Ms. Pamela Snurr. You will enjoy what these individuals have to say, so stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
As I travel the nation, I read NFB Newsline.
I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, and I listen to my local news on NFB Newsline.
As a student, I enjoy reading current events on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today. I want to welcome you back to the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Monthly Report. And today we do have, as I indicated earlier, two great guests today. They're great advocates for the National Federation of the Blind. They're also professionals. They have professional careers, and you'll get to know them in this segment and the next segment. So welcome to the show, Pam Snurr and Mr. Joy Higdon.
Thank you, Lee.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
That's good. We also have Ms. Florence Myers McSwine, our co-host here. And we want to talk a little bit about the National Federation of the Blind service that's provided by the National Federation of the Blind called Newsline. And we have this Newsline Indiana service in Indiana, as well as over, 48 states right now. Am I correct, Florence?
Yes, sir.
And what 4 states do not carry this free service?
Okay, Lee, the 4 states that don't offer the service at this time are Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming.
And we hope to bring them up to speed so that they can, the citizens there can utilize the service and read their newspapers in the way that we read as blind, visually impaired, and citizens with some forms of dyslexia, as well as those with other forms of reading challenges. So, Pam.
Yes.
How do you use NFB Newsline, and how has it impacted your life?
Well, first of all, I think it's a wonderful program that the NFB puts on. I use it during my work they have a thing called magazine. It's for recipes, so I get new recipes and new ideas for our, help run a cafeteria. And so I get their recipes off of Newsline. So, and I use it they also have a magazine on Newsline called Vending Times, and you can go on there and check on the market of what's coming up, what's trending, what kind of machines are coming available, what new technology is out there. So it's a really great service for people that are in business. I read a lot of the articles on business and see what's happening throughout the state of Indiana and other places throughout the country. So it's a great service for me, and I really appreciate it.
What about you, Mr. Higdon?
I use it a lot like Pam. I read Vending Times. I read the Indianapolis Business Journal. I read the Indianapolis Star. I do the weather alerts for the weather. I have it downloaded on my Victor Stream, and that's what I mainly use to read the Newsline with. But I also use my iPhone, so I really enjoy it.
Multitasking. Yes, that's very good. So, like I said, there's a number of devices. You can get it on your computer as well. And I think one of the things about that service, the free service, is that if you're reading an article and say like there's an article in there about yourself or just any article that's printed, you can save that article from your phone, from your Victor Reader, straight to your inbox. And you can maintain that article forever. A lot of people, particularly seniors, love to do the obituaries. And I know that that's probably the most read section of the newspaper is the obituaries. Can you believe that?
I believe it. I read them.
You read them too?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I
make sure my name's not in there.
But, you know, it is a great service that's provided throughout the state of Indiana. We have a number of publications, like you stated, Joy, the Indianapolis Star, the Indiana Business Journal, you know, northern part of the state, the central part of the state, the western part, the southern part. And we're constantly building publications throughout the state of Indiana. And once again, our state sponsor is the State Library, Talking Book and Braille Library Services. And is there anything else that you would want to encourage our listeners to share with their family members, their friends about this free access that has never been available for blind and print challenged citizens before?
Well, go ahead, Joe.
I would just like to encourage anybody that is blind or print disabled to use Newsline more, because the more people that use it, the better funding we get. And I would also like to encourage the blind users to encourage their family to, you know, talk to their Congress and senators here in the state of Indiana to, you know, encourage them to support Newsline.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I know I've recommended Newsline to a lot of friends through our alumni at School for the Blind, and a lot of those guys really enjoy it. I know you guys have interviewed a few of those, and they love Newsline. They can't stop talking about it.
They love it. I was really surprised at their testimonies.
Oh,
It just was overwhelming. And Florence?
Well, Pam, as a matter of fact, I had an opportunity to interview a few of the guys that that you've recommended Newsline service to. And I want to thank you for that. Now, I want to ask Joy. Now, how long have you been a Newsline subscriber?
I have been a Newsline prescriber a lot longer than I have used the service, and I'm sad to say that. But now that I've started using it, I love it. But I think I have been a Newsline subscriber for about 10 years.
10 years.
Something like that.
So it keeps you up to date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So you see that this particular service is very essential in the lives of blind citizens and people that are visually impaired. Like I said, it's open for citizens that have certain forms of dyslexia and also those that have other print challenges. You can learn more about NFB Newsline by calling
1-855-963-6476. That is our toll-free number. Our
and we
local
also
number.
have a website that is www.nfb-in.org. And also to learn more about the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana, you can call 317-205-9662, or you can visit our website at www.nfb-in.org. So we'll be right back with our next segment of Hot Topics from our two guests here today, Ms. Pam Snurr and Mr. Joy Higdon. See you in a few minutes.
If you or someone you know is visually impaired or print challenged, the National Federation of the Blind has a resource you need.
Wow, I scored a touchdown when I found sports on NFB Newsline.
I enjoy reading TV guide listings on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind. We read NFB Newsline.
It's free.
We want to welcome you back to the National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. Today we have some hot topics that we're talking about on our monthly report. As your host, I lost my sight at the age of 48 years old. I never thought that I would lose my sight, but you know, I've transitioned and live a good life, and there is life after blindness. And, you know, our guests today each have different sight impediments. And so, Pam, when did you lose your sight?
Actually, I was born blind, but then I had cataracts and then had 5 surgeries, and they removed the cataracts, but I'm still legally blind, which means I can see some, but I can't see very much.
Yeah, like me, I can't see nothing. I'm what I call certified blind. And what about you, Mr. Joy Higdon?
I was born with congenital glaucoma. I've always been legally blind, and in the last 10 years, I have lost the rest of my sight to where now I pretty much can't see anything but light.
Florence?
Okay, and myself was born with a genetic condition called retinitis pigmentosa. And as the years progressed, my condition now is just light sensitivity.
So as you see, blindness has no barriers, and you know, it can affect you in a number of ways. And you know, we just want to share some you know, success stories here with professionals in the blind community. As you see, these individuals have, each of us have come here with sight impediment, but it's not stopping us from being successful citizens and living the life that we want. So, Pam,
yes, sir.
you hold several titles here, and give us your titles.
Well, I'm on the National Association of Blind Merchants. I'm the treasurer of that organization, which is a part of the National Federation of the Blind. I also am the chairperson of the Blind Vendors Committee here in Indiana. So just to mention a few things. And I think I should have missed my calling. I'm kind of the planner also with the committee. I also do a lot of the planning for conventions and that kind of thing. So.
And what about you, Mr. Higdon?
I am the president of the National Association of Blind Merchants of Indiana, which is a division of the National Federation of the Blind. And I am also on the national board for NABM. And I also am a committee member for our local BEP committee.
Okay. Now, how did you guys get into the businesses that you are in?
Well, I can start out. It's been 30 years I've been in the program. There is a program called the Randolph Shepherd Vending Program, and it was started in 1946. What it started from was a blind man selling newspapers outside of the Congress, and they wanted to bring him inside so he wouldn't have to stand in the rain and the snow. So they started a program, two senators, Randolph Shepherd and Randolph, and it's been in helping blind people ever since. It's almost in every state. It's a great program. It helps you, sets you up in business. You can, you know, once you get through the training, which is about a 6-month program, they set you up in your own business. Right now, I run a cafeteria, a convenience store, a coffee shop, and the vending in a federal building. So.
What about you, Mr. Higdon?
I've been in business for 15 years. Right now, I service 2 state prisons here in the state of Indiana, Miami Correctional Facility and Rockville Women's Facility. I also have a rest area and a mental health facility.
Wow. Now, okay. Now, what are some of the challenges facing blind professionals in the vending businesses?
Well, main problem that we have is getting enough locations for blind vendors. That's one of our main concerns, is trying to keep locations that we have. And Joey can tell you a little bit more about what we're facing right now.
You know, one of the things I want to bring up is over 70% of blind individuals are unemployed. Yeah. This is a program that employs blind people. And one of the things facing us right now is Bill 1990, which was presented by our own Congressman, Jim Banks, out of District 3. And what Bill 1990 does is it wants to eliminate and privatize all rest areas in the United States. What that will do, it will devastate the vending program. It will put over 400 blind vendors out of work, and it will have a financial burden on every program in the United States. It will devastate them.
That is a very hot topic. And how can individuals get in touch with either one of you or to get some more information about this particular program?
Go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, they can also get on Newsline, let us know the numbers that Lee has given you through there. You can always leave a message there, or the Indiana State website that Lee's given you. Or you can always call Blind Services too. So.
Okay, and Joy, here recently you attended the National Federation of the Blind Louisiana School Center.
Yep, LCB, Louisiana Center for the Blind. The National Federation of the Blind has 3 centers. One of them is LCB, one of them is CCB, which is in Littleton, Colorado, and one of them is Blind Inc., which is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And these are private schools. You go there, you learn Braille, computers, cooking, shop, and cane travel. They are A1 schools. If you have any sight or anything, you're required to wear blindfolds. That way, if you do lose your sight, you're prepared if you lose the rest of it. So, you know, they're really, really good schools. If you know any more information about them, you can go to nfb.org and you can learn about every school available.
Wow, that is so fantastic. Now, how long was your training program there?
It was 9 months.
9 months, so you were away from home for 9 months.
Yep, but you stay in an apartment with one roommate, and it's a really good opportunity.
Okay, and Joey, now, who pays for this?
Indiana Voc Rehabilitation Services.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So when an individual wants to go into the business enterprise program, what is their first step?
First step, they need to go talk to their VR counselor and tell the counselor what your goals are. And then you would get an interview with BEP program, which is Business Enterprise Program. Lockett Phillips is our director. And you would have an interview with him, and then you would have to take some training at Bosma Industries. I'm not sure if that's the name anymore.
Enterprises.
Bosma Enterprises. And then you go through a 6-month training program here it's ran by Bosma also. And then normally if we have locations available, you go through a bidding process and you are placed in, most of our locations are vending, but we do have a few snack bars, over-the-counter snack bars, and we have a couple of cafeterias that we run. But most of it in general is vending machines.
Well, I just wanted to thank you both for coming on to our show today and sharing more information and enlightening people about your reading and your testimonies on NFB Newsline, you know, sharing your visual acuities and sharing with the listening and viewing audience about the National Federation of the Blind and some of the services that are provided. And I think it's very great information that you shared with us, Joy. About 70% of this population is unemployed or underemployed. And, you know, there's initiatives going to try to remedy that. But if America was 70% unemployed, what a catastrophe it would be. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Monthly Report, Hot Topics.
If you or someone you know is visually impaired or print challenged, the National Federation of the Blind has a resource you need.
I use NFB Newsline when reading Hammond Northwest Times.
Using NFB Newsline, I read the Christian Science magazine.
Dad, you read Jerusalem Post, too.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Live the life you want. Read NFB Newsline.
It's free.
The National Federation of the Blind knows that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day we raise the expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between blind people and our dreams. You can live the life you want. Blindness is not what holds you back.
Yes, welcome back for the final leg of what we're talking about here with the blind merchants and vendors in the state of Indiana. There is so much opportunity out there. Now, as far as participants, to getting people to participate, I mean, is the program overwhelmed, or is it just need more people to get into the program?
Well, right now we have 46 blind vendors in our state, and we are getting ready to start a new training class, and usually we try to start with around 10 blind vendors to go through the program. We're always looking for new people because a lot of the vendors are getting older and starting to retire, so we need some new people to come in to the program. And so, yes, we are always looking to grow, and we're always looking to grow locations and trying to find new locations for people. So if you have a great location out there, let the BEP program know, because we'd love to have it.
We're looking for a lot of younger people, but I want to express, though, again, this bill 1990 that would be very devastational to our program. So, you know, if this bill does get anywhere and gain any ground, it would devastate our program to where we wouldn't need very many vendors. So we want everybody to, you know, tell your friends, tell your brothers, tell your mothers, you know, contact your congressmen and senators and, you know, oppose Bill 1990.
And
Okay.
the BEP program, can you tell me quickly about how long that actually lasts?
The training is 6 months.
But it lasts forever. I mean, you know, you get in it and you can retire and you make a good living in the BEP program.
Right.
I mean,
It's really the only program out there designed especially for blind people. Because our unemployment rate is so high, this is one program that's available that, you know, is a really great, I mean, if you know a blind individual that really would like to get a job, and this is one, and not only do we also hire like 167 other people. So it's a great program, and we also hire some people with disabilities if we can. Yep. I have one person that works with me that's legally blind, so it helps a lot of people.
It's not just a job for the blind, it's your own business.
Exactly.
For the blind.
Well, so it's your own business for the blind, and we just want to say, you know, to get more information, you can visit www.nfbnewsline-indiana.org, or you can go to National Federation of the Blind, nfb.org-in. And
for more information on NFB Newsline, you can contact us at toll-free number, which is 1-855-963-6476.
And to learn more about the National Federation of the Blind Indiana, please call 317-205-9226. We want to thank you for joining our show this morning, and please join us next month as we discuss more hot topics in the blind community with the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana.
The National Federation of the Blind Indiana Monthly Report. For more information, go to nfb-in.org or call 317-205-9226. That's 317-205-9226. The National Federation of the Blind encourages you to live the life you want.